Across the vast and unforgiving African savanna, survival is not a guarantee, it is a daily battle. Each sunrise signals the beginning of new conflicts where life is quietly placed on the line amid burning dust and an unrelenting sun. No species is truly safe here. Every step forward can mean another chance to live, or the first step toward the end. Predators wait with calculated patience, measuring every movement and every mistake. For them, failure brings hunger, weakness, and eventually death. Prey in turn learn to exist under constant pressure. Their senses, sharpened muscles remain coiled, and when escape is no longer possible, they fight with whatever strength remains, even when the odds are stacked against them. In this world without pause, everything has a cost. Energy drains quickly, wounds do not always heal, and exhaustion becomes an enemy as real as any predator. There are no rules and no mercy. The savanna is a proving ground where only those willing to risk everything, their strength, their instincts, and sometimes their very lives, can endure. This is the wild heart of Africa, a realm where courage and sacrifice shape every fate, and where survival is written day after day through danger, resolve, and decisions made at the very edge of life. At first light, a male warthog scrapes at the ground, searching for roots beneath the dry soil. He is not known for elegance or raw power. Suddenly, he stands unknowingly within the territory of one of the savanna's most feared hunters. His small eyes scan the surroundings, his ears twitch constantly. Only a few meters away, a hungry lioness lies hidden in the bushes. She has not eaten for days and must find food for her cubs. Every step she takes is a silent risk, yet the warthog remains unaware of her presence. The wind shifts, carrying a warning on its breath. In an instant, the warthog catches the scent of danger. The lioness charges. The warthog explodes into motion, sprinting through the tall grass at speeds approaching 48 kilometers per hour, weaving sharply from side to side. As he runs, he flashes his sharp tusks in a final display of defiance. The chase is short. Exhausted, the lioness abandons the pursuit. Moments later, the warthog slows, returning calmly to his search for food as if nothing had happened. Speed, awareness, and sharp instincts are his true weapons in a land that shows no mercy. Warthogs are resilient inhabitants of the Serengeti's harsh plains. Their tusks, which can grow up to 25 centimeters long, serve both as tools for digging and as formidable defenses. The thick pads on their faces, often called warts, act as natural protection during fights. Rather than digging their own burrows, warthogs take over abandoned tunnels made by aardvarks or porcupines, reinforcing them for safety. When they enter, they back in, positioning their tusks toward the entrance, so any intruder must face them head-on. Under the blazing sun, warthogs roll in mud to cool their bodies, and the drying layer of clay also shields their skin. Smaller animals such as mongooses often climb onto their backs, feeding on ticks and insects. Their diet is remarkably flexible, ranging from dry grass and roots to scraps left behind by other animals. This adaptability allows warthogs to remain in the Serengeti during the dry season long after many species have moved on. But when the rains return, life surges back, and so do the most dangerous predators. A mother warthog watches over her young only a few weeks old, guiding them carefully as they learn to dig for food. In the distance, 3 lionesses observe in silence. The piglets are easy targets. Sensing the threat, the mother quickly herds her young back toward the burrow. She positions herself at the entrance, kicking dirt backward to deter the approaching lions. They attempt to dig their way inside, but fail. What they do not realize is that the mother has already prepared for this moment. A hidden secondary exit angled sharply and concealed by vegetation becomes the family's escape. One by one, the piglets follow their mother through the narrow tunnel, emerging safely beyond the reach of danger. In the relentless world of the Savanna, warthogs survive not through strength alone, but through endurance, awareness, and strategies as clever as they are effective. On the savanna, there is another kind of fighter, fast, precise yet exposed. The cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, is built for speed rather than strength. A symbol of acceleration and agility, cheetahs usually hunt alone. But on rare occasions, an unusual alliance forms. 3 cheetahs come together, moving with shared intent. They slip quietly through the tall grass, fixing their attention on a wildebeest that has strayed from the safety of the herd. Each takes a position, tightening the circle with calculated calm. In an instant, the chase erupts. They surge forward, reaching speeds of up to 112 kilometers per hour. No signals are exchanged. Instinct and experience guide every movement. Yet the savanna never offers a reward without a challenge. Drawn by the scent of the kill, a group of spotted hyenas approaches. This time, the cheetahs do not retreat. They stand their ground, growling and holding formation. Their unity becomes a shield. Faced with a coordinated defense, the scavengers hesitate and pull back. Here, cooperation makes the difference between losing everything and surviving another day. Not every cheetah is supported by allies. In the vast openness of the savanna, a female cheetah gives birth alone. Her litter of 5 cubs is born fragile and helpless. For their first week, their eyes remain closed, and it will take nearly 3 months before they are strong enough to run beside their mother. The odds are harsh. Nearly 90% of cheetah cubs do not survive past their first 3 months, falling victim to predators or starvation. To protect them, the mother hides her cubs deep within the grass, constantly moving them from place to place to avoid detection. She hunts alone, forced to leave them behind as she searches for food. At dawn, she manages to bring down a gazelle and returns with her prize. But the savanna shows no mercy. Danger is always close, especially for the young. When she returns, only 4 cubs remain. The 5th is gone. After a frantic search, the truth becomes clear. Baboons, intelligent and ruthless opportunists, have taken the missing cub. The mother approaches the trees where they linger and watches them carefully. She confronts them with presence alone, but does not attack. A single injury could doom the 4 cubs she still has. When the baboons react, she withdraws. Carrying the weight of loss, she returns to her remaining young, wounded but resolute. In the wild, survival leaves no room for grief, only the strength to keep going for those still alive. The African buffalo, one of the most imposing herbivores on the continent, is also one of the most relentlessly hunted. Its massive horns serve as a living shield against lions, and its sheer strength is the backbone of the herd's defense. Yet against its most modern predator, these ancient defenses are often no longer enough. An adult male can stand up to 1.7 meters tall and weigh around 730 kilograms. Its physical power is legendary. With a solid muscular body and an unyielding determination to protect its own, the African buffalo is considered the strongest grazer in Africa. Its thick, dark coat helps shield it from the harsh sun, but its survival is inseparably tied to water. Rarely does it stray more than 16 kilometers from rivers, lagoons, or swampy areas. What truly sets the buffalo apart, however, is its uncompromising strategy of collective defense. At the first sign of danger, the herd closes ranks instantly. Calves are pushed toward the center while adults form a solid wall of bodies and horns ready to confront any threat head-on. In unity, the buffalo finds its greatest weapon and its best chance to survive. A pale golden light spreads gently across the endless plains like a quiet promise offered to the land. Dew clings to the grass and glimmers as the last traces of night fade away. Shadows cast by trees and wandering herds begin to shift, slowly awakening as darkness retreats. Here, an ancient cycle begins once more. Within this world of renewal, one figure rises above all others, the lion sovereign of the Savanna. Its authority is not defined by strength alone, but by family and unity. True power here is born from cooperation. Calm, watchful, and majestic, the lion's presence seems to still the landscape itself. This is its realm, a place where courage is measured not only through combat but through the ability to protect, and where the young learn by observing and staying close to one another. A pride is far more than a simple gathering of lions. It is a structured and resilient society guided by unwritten laws that shape survival and legacy. At the heart of this system stand the lionesses, sisters, mothers, and tireless hunters. They are the architects of this world. Together they form a living network of cooperation bound by blood, experience, and instinct. A successful hunt is never the achievement of a single lioness, but the shared result of the pride working together. A newborn cub does not belong only to its mother. It is the responsibility of the entire group. Lionesses rotate roles, nursing, guarding, and instructing one another's young. For the cubs, life begins as play, chasing, wrestling, and practicing movements that will later become vital tools for survival. But on the savannah, no victory lasts forever. With the next day comes a new struggle. The male lions serve as the pride's defenders. Their sheer size and powerful roars create a living shield against threats. Yet dominance here is never permanent. Power shifts with time, and for every reigning king, there is always another challenger waiting for the chance to take his place. On the savannah, no feast lasts forever. With the next sunrise, the struggle begins again. The male lions stand as the pride's shield. Their massive frames and thunderous roars rise like living walls against danger. Yet power here is never fixed. Rule is temporary, and every leader must one day face a challenger. Young males cast out from their birth prides wander the wild lands alone. Over time, they grow stronger, driven by hunger and the urge to claim a future of their own. When they return, the plains seem to tremble. Night erupts into chaos. Deep roars tear through the darkness, answered by equally fierce calls. The air vibrates as voices collide. The clash is brutal. Claws, raked teeth sink deep, and heavy bodies slam together with raw force. This is not a contest of finesse, but of endurance, rage, and will. In the end, only one truth remains. The victor claims the pride, the females, and the right to shape the next generation. The defeated vanishes into the vast wilderness. Even kings are not spared from challenge. As darkness settles, other eyes are watching. Hyenas linger at the edges, clever and tireless, waiting for the moment when lions are worn down after a hunt. Alone, a hyena poses little threat. Together, they become a relentless tide of jaws and persistence, capable of stealing a hard-won kill from an entire pride. Above them, vultures circle endlessly, patient scavengers drawn by weakness, injury, and death. Their silent vigil is a reminder that even in victory, lions are never truly alone. Yet perhaps the most dangerous rival is neither thief nor scavenger. The African buffalo, massive, unpredictable, and armed with horns like spears, can turn a hunter into prey in a single instant. Across the Golden Plains, buffalo move in immense herds. For lions, they are both prize and peril, a vital source of food that demands absolute precision and courage. From a distance, the pride watches, muscles tight, eyes locked. A buffalo is no ordinary target. Its horns can tear flesh and its charge can shatter bone. When the clash comes, it is explosive, a violent collision of predator and prey where every second can decide life or death. To bring down large prey, lions must hunt as a single unified force. They spread out, apply constant pressure, single out the weakest target, and deliver a precise final strike. In the unforgiving African savanna, such coordination is essential. Sharing this harsh stage is another master of survival, the spotted hyena. Shaped by more than 10 million years of evolution, it has carved out its own powerful role among Africa's top predators. Built to endure rather than to sprint, the spotted hyena carries a dense, muscular frame engineered for stamina and strength, allowing it to thrive through relentless effort where others would fail. Its distinctive sloping posture is not a flaw, but a powerful advantage. This body shape allows the spotted hyena to move efficiently across rough, uneven ground, conserving energy over long distances. The African savanna is its stronghold, stretching from the open grasslands of East Africa to the dry, semi-arid reaches of the Kalahari Desert in Botswana. According to a 2023 assessment by the IUCN, the global population of spotted hyenas is estimated to range between 27,000 and 47,000 individuals. Yet strength alone does not define this predator. The true power of the spotted hyena lies in its remarkably complex social system. It lives in large, strictly matriarchal clans that can number more than 100 members. In the darkness of the savanna, its famous laugh is not random noise nor a sign of chaos. It is a living social map carried through sound. Each call is unique, identifying the individual and signaling its position within the clan's intricate hierarchy. This vocal language conveys identity status and intent used to summon allies or reinforce rank in a world that is both brutal and highly organized. At the top stands the alpha female whose authority shapes every aspect of clan life. This matriarchal order is more than social structure. It is a survival strategy refined over millions of years. Spotted hyenas are far more than scavengers. They are intelligent, calculated hunters capable of bringing down large and dangerous prey. Their cooperation and communication rival those of some primates, underscoring their evolutionary success. Even so, their future is not guaranteed. Habitat loss and growing conflict with humans now pose serious challenges to one of Africa's most resilient and misunderstood predators. Under the scorching African sun, where waves of golden grass stretch endlessly toward the horizon, a silent and carefully planned ambush begins to unfold. Spotted shapes hug the ground, gliding through the low vegetation like unseen currents of air. A group of lionesses is on the move. Their focus is locked onto a herd of zebras traveling in apparent calm. To the hunters, zebras are often familiar targets, easy to spot, moving in large groups that can fracture under pressure. They are herbivores, seemingly lacking long-range defenses. Yet this assumption is deceptive. One young zebra drifts away from the herd. Smaller, slower, and no longer shielded by the group, it appears to be the perfect choice, low risk, high reward. None of the lionesses anticipate how abruptly this hunt will turn. A sudden, powerful strike delivered with both hind legs and the force of a coiled spring changes everything. The lioness is stunned, the impact landing on her head or jaw. Such a reaction was never expected from prey like a zebra. When an animal confronts its predator, survival does not rely on strength or speed alone. It rests on three core pillars of defense: instinct, reflex, and adaptive learning. These responses unfold in fractions of a second. Behind every sprint, every kick, and even moments of frozen stillness lies millions of years of refined evolution. Instinctive behavior consists of genetically encoded action sequences. It requires no training, no prior experience, yet it is executed with precision from the very first encounter. When a zebra lashes out to create an opening and escape, the movement is anything but random. It is an innate motor pattern, pre-programmed and triggered the instant danger is detected from behind. These instinct-driven actions are rigid and highly focused, designed for one purpose alone: survival at any cost. Reflexes operate on an even more immediate level. Governed by neural reflex arcs, they bypass conscious thought almost entirely. Simple in design, they are among the most effective responses in nature. A zebra's kick may seem insignificant compared to the claws of a lion or the speed of a cheetah, yet it ranks among the most effective countermeasures used by large herbivores. It doesn't need to be fatal. Accuracy and timing delivered through pain are often enough to reverse the outcome. Anatomy plays a decisive role. Zebras possess an exceptionally powerful musculoskeletal structure around the hips. The muscles of the thighs and gluteal region are among the strongest in the herbivore world, capable of producing explosive force. Their hooves, hard as stone and made of dense keratin, present a small but incredibly durable striking surface, like a concentrated hammer blow. When attacked from behind, a zebra uses both hind legs, delivering straight or slightly angled kicks, adjusting the trajectory with remarkable precision to meet the position of its attacker. In 2024, Namibia endured its most severe drought in more than 100 years. Across Etosha, waterholes nearly vanished. Hippopotamuses became stranded in shrinking pools of drying mud. Then in early 2025, the rains finally returned, and with them renewal. Grasslands flushed green once more. Giraffes and rarer species such as the black-faced impala took advantage of the sudden abundance, feeding eagerly as the land recovered. But this relief is temporary. From May to October, the dry season tightens its grip on the park with relentless heat. Daytime temperatures often climb between 35 and 48 degrees Celsius. Natural water sources fade away almost completely. As water becomes scarce, herbivores are forced to gather at the few remaining oases. Their numbers draw predators in close, turning these lifelines into unavoidable arenas of tension and conflict. Among the giants that endure these harsh conditions is the black rhinoceros. Powerfully built, it can reach up to 1.5 meters at the shoulder and weigh well over a ton. Two horns growing continuously throughout its life serve as essential tools for defense. Despite its name, its skin is a dark gray, often coated in dust. A pointed prehensile upper lip allows it to pluck tender leaves from thorny shrubs with precision. Remarkably, it can survive for days without drinking, drawing most of the moisture it needs from the plants it consumes, an adaptation finely tuned to life in an arid landscape. Its eyesight is poor, but the black rhino lives in a world shaped by scent. For this largely solitary animal, communication is written into the land itself. Dung piles are not random waste. They are shared records, a living archive of smells pressed into the soil. They reveal who has passed through, their strength, their intentions, and even their readiness to mate. This silent exchange forms an invisible social network guiding movement and behavior across an ancient territory. Even so, the dry season remains a relentless test. Artificial water holes like the one at Ocauquejo become critical sanctuaries. Here, even the normally solitary black rhino must tolerate the presence of others. At night, under the soft glow of floodlights, its massive silhouette emerges. With steady, deliberate steps, it approaches the water, asserting its presence without sound, yet with unmistakable authority. By 2023, Namibia was home to more than 2,200 black rhinos, with over 70% of them found within Etosha National Park. This concentration, however, comes at a cost. High densities increase the risk of poaching. Despite the efforts of dedicated rangers, GPS tracking, drone surveillance, and even the controversial removal of horns, the black rhino faces a threat greater than any natural predator, human greed persistent and unrelenting. In the murky currents of the Zambezi River, a colossal predator lies hidden in absolute stillness. This is the Nile crocodile, the largest reptile in Africa. Unlike many hunters, it does not need to feed every day. Its highly efficient metabolism allows it to survive for weeks, sometimes even longer, without a single meal. Lower Zambezi National Park is one of its strongholds. Here, survival depends as much on patience as on raw power. A crocodile can remain motionless for hours, even days, blending perfectly with water and shadow while waiting for the precise moment. When an unsuspecting animal steps too close to the river's edge, there is no warning. In a fraction of a second, the surface explodes. Jaws snap shut and the victim is dragged beneath the water. Resistance is futile. With a bite force reaching nearly 22,000 newtons, the Nile crocodile possesses one of the most powerful jaws in the natural world. Far from the riverbanks, another African sanctuary tells a different story. Often called the jewel of Namibia, Etosha National Park is home to 4 of the continent's Big Five: the elephant, the lion, the leopard, and the critically endangered black rhinoceros. Together, these landscapes reveal the raw intensity and fragile balance of Africa's wild heart, where power, patience, and survival are written into every moment. As night settles over the African savanna and the dust slowly returns to the wounded earth, the marks of conflict remain. Every struggle here is more than violence. It is a desperate choice to exist one more day. Each species has learned the same hard truth: survival demands a heavy price, paid in energy, safety, and often in life itself. Courage and sacrifice are not optional here. They are the cost of living. Yet these battles are not meaningless chaos. They are part of an ancient and delicate balance where every predator and every prey plays a role that cannot be replaced. When one life ends, another continues. When one species disappears, the entire system trembles. Protecting the savanna does not mean stopping the struggle. It means preserving the stage where nature can follow its course whole and unhindered. The true danger is not the hunter, but the loss of habitat, the silence that follows when there is no one left to fight. To understand these wild conflicts is also a call to human responsibility. To conserve, respect, and defend these lands where life is forged under extreme conditions. As long as the savanna still breathes, the story of survival will continue to be written with courage, risk, and sacrifice. If this journey into the wild heart of Africa has moved you and sparked reflection, support our work. Like the video and subscribe to Beast Call Nature to keep exploring, understanding, and protecting the untamed world of wildlife. Across the African savanna, nature reveals its most raw and unforgiving side. This immense land, shaped by relentless sunlight and extreme seasonal changes, conceals countless dangers for every creature that calls it home. Life here exists on the edge, and each sunrise brings a new challenge to those fighting to stay alive. Within this harsh environment, some of the world's most formidable predators rule the savanna in very different ways. Some rely on strength and teamwork, while others depend on speed, stealth, or remarkable patience. Their methods turn the open plains into a constant battleground, where a single mistake can mean the difference between life and death. Chases are intense, encounters unavoidable, and every hunt reflects nature's strictest rule. Survival belongs to those best adapted. The African savanna is more than a place, it is a living world, where survival is forged through endurance, instinct, and determination. A wild realm where life and death move side by side, shaping one of the most powerful and dramatic stories in the natural world. As twilight settles over the Serengeti savanna, the deep roar of an adult male lion echoes across the plains, projecting an unmistakable sense of dominance. This sound is more than a territorial warning. It is a powerful announcement of one of nature's most iconic symbols of strength and balance. With a muscular body weighing between 130 and 190 kilograms and stretching up to 2.4 meters in length, the Serengeti lion survives and thrives within an ecosystem that is both demanding and remarkably diverse. The landscape, shaped by vast grasslands, scattered shrubs and wide open spaces, provides ideal conditions for this great predator. In areas such as Ndutu, ongoing conservation efforts have led to encouraging signs of population recovery. Lion prides inhabiting the southeastern plains often display a well-defined social structure, typically consisting of around 10 to 15 individuals. In some cases, prides may grow to include 20 or even 30 members, but most are formed by 1 or 2 dominant males, several adult females, and their offspring. Females are primarily responsible for hunting and caring for the cubs, while males focus on defending the territory and protecting the group from external threats. Living in a pride not only increases hunting efficiency but also strengthens defense against rival lions and competitors like hyenas. However, this social lifestyle comes with constant tension, both from outside rivals and within the pride itself. A dominant male may control a vast territory, using his roar audible from several kilometers away to signal his authority. Power struggles between males are often fierce and play a crucial role in shaping the genetic strength of the pride and the survival of future generations. As the only truly social big cat, lions have evolved complex cooperative hunting strategies to improve their chances of success. Their primary prey include zebras, wildebeest, and occasionally buffalo. Despite their impressive strength, hunting success rates remain relatively low, averaging around 30%, as they often confront large and resilient animals capable of strong resistance. During a hunt, lionesses work together with remarkable coordination, using tall grass as cover while approaching from multiple directions. Once close enough, they launch a sudden attack, usually targeting isolated or weakened individuals. When confronting massive prey such as buffalo, males often join the effort. Their size and power allow them to subdue animals that females alone might struggle to bring down. A single large kill, like a buffalo, can feed a pride of more than 10 lions. The dominant male eats first, followed by other adult males, then the females, and finally the young and cubs. This feeding order clearly reflects the hierarchy and social structure that governs life within the lion's realm. Inside the den, spotted hyena cubs enter the world in a way unlike most predators. They are born with their eyes already open and teeth fully formed, alert and aware from the very first moment. This early development is no coincidence. It signals a life that begins with competition, even among siblings. Survival is not guaranteed. Silent confrontations emerge almost immediately, as each cub struggles to secure its place within the unseen hierarchy that governs the clan. Daughters born to high-ranking females inherit a clear advantage. They nurse first, receive greater protection, and are treated with priority from the start. Cubs born to lower-ranking mothers face a far harsher reality, forced to compete fiercely for access to milk and warmth. This imbalance can be deadly, and in some litters, only a single cub survives the early weeks of life. This extreme behavior, known as sibling rivalry, is not driven by cruelty but by an uncompromising process of natural selection. Hyena milk is exceptionally rich in nutrients, yet produced in limited quantities. Competition within the den ensures that only the strongest and most resilient cubs gain access to this vital resource. In fact, hyena milk ranks among the most nutritious found anywhere in the animal kingdom. The spotted hyena's body is the result of thousands of years of precise adaptation. Compact and powerfully built, it displays a distinctive asymmetry: longer front legs and shorter hind legs, creating its unmistakable sloping posture. Far from a flaw, this structure provides stability and strength, allowing hyenas to maintain speed and balance during long pursuits across uneven terrain. Unlike big cats that rely on short bursts of explosive speed, hyenas are endurance specialists. They do not sprint, they persist. Their hunting strategy is built around stamina, chasing prey until exhaustion takes over. The muscular strength concentrated in their front limbs supports one of their most formidable tools, a powerful bite. Spotted hyenas possess one of the strongest bites among land carnivores, with jaw pressure capable of exceeding 1,000 psi. This allows them to crush bones with ease. Their thick, resilient skin acts as natural protection, while their non-retractable but tough claws provide traction and control during extended chases. Their senses are equally refined. Smell, hearing, and night vision operate with remarkable precision. A carcass kilometers away or a faint sound hidden in tall grass rarely goes unnoticed. On the savanna, the hyena's body is more than a means of movement. It is a survival system engineered to endure extremes where many others fail. In this landscape, where danger lies hidden among golden grasses, hunting is not simply about strength, but about method. Few species demonstrate this better than the spotted hyena. Far from being reckless scavengers, they are calculated, patient, and highly organized hunters. Every movement has purpose. Every pursuit follows a plan. Unlike big cats that favor ambush or solitary attacks, hyenas operate as a coordinated unit. When potential prey is spotted, they do not rush in. A small group approaches cautiously, testing reactions and identifying weakness. They observe closely, searching for the slowest, most fatigued, or least alert individual. Once vulnerability is detected, the entire clan becomes involved. Communication is subtle but exact: a shift in posture, a glance, a tail movement. Each member understands its role. Some advance, others flank, while the rest block escape routes. The hunt unfolds like a carefully timed sequence, pushing the prey to its limits. There is no hesitation. The goal is not just capture, but exhaustion. In endurance, few predators can compete. Where a cheetah must abandon the chase after a brief sprint, the hyena continues, covering distance relentlessly. These pursuits can last many minutes and often end in the clan's favor. When the prey finally stumbles or makes a single mistake, the outcome is swift. Each successful hunt sustains the clan, reinforces social bonds, and confirms the hierarchy that holds the group together. Hyenas are equally effective when encountering remains left behind by other predators. Their digestive system is a remarkable evolutionary achievement. Extremely acidic stomach fluids allow them to break down bones, hooves, and decaying organic matter that would be dangerous for most animals. Where others risk illness, hyenas feed safely. This resilience plays a vital ecological role. By consuming carcasses that could otherwise spread disease, hyenas help prevent outbreaks among herbivores and other carnivores, contributing to the overall health of the savanna. For centuries, hyenas have been unfairly portrayed as cowardly or deceitful, cast as villains in folklore and modern media alike. This distorted image overlooks the reality of an animal that represents one of nature's highest levels of adaptation and efficiency. A perfect example is their so-called laughter, a sound often misunderstood as mockery. In truth, this distinctive vocalization is part of a sophisticated communication system. It conveys excitement, stress, fear, or warning. Researchers can even identify individual hyenas by their calls alone. The pitch and rhythm reveal age, identity, and social rank, functioning like an acoustic signature. Another persistent myth claims that hyenas survive only by stealing food from others. Scientific studies tell a different story. In many regions, more than 60% of their diet comes from their own hunts. In terms of hunting success, they often rival and sometimes surpass lions and leopards, proving that the spotted hyena is not a scavenger by necessity, but a master survivor by design. There is also the long-standing accusation of cowardice. But anyone who has witnessed a group of hyenas standing their ground against a lion knows how far from the truth that is. They do not rush in blindly. Every move is deliberate. And when numbers are on their side, they become an almost unstoppable force. Under the harsh glare of the midday sun, The savanna offers no shadows to hide the outcome. The lioness has secured her kill, but the struggle is far from over. The hyenas arrive openly, in full daylight, advancing with purpose and discipline. At the front stands the clan's matriarch. She does not attack impulsively. She watches, she measures. With a single glance, the formation shifts. The head is contained, the rear is sealed, the circle tightens. The lion possesses raw strength. The hyenas possess numbers and the ruthless efficiency of coordinated tactics. Their jaws deliver crushing power, enough to break resistance as much as flesh. In this moment, the balance of power on the savanna shifts. Because in the wild, dominance is not always claimed by the largest or the strongest, but by those who are best organized, most disciplined, and most united. In the Andutu region, the cheetah finds an environment close to ideal. Low vegetation and wide open plains perfectly suit its hunting style. These grasslands, lying at an average altitude of around 200 meters above sea level, support large populations of herbivores such as Thompson's gazelle, Grant's gazelle, and blue wildebeest, the primary foundation of the cheetah's diet. With a hunting success rate approaching 50%, the cheetah outperforms many larger predators, including lions, whose success rate is closer to 30%. This advantage comes from careful prey selection. Rather than targeting the strongest animals, cheetahs focus on smaller, more vulnerable individuals. Hunts usually begin at very short distances, often less than 60 meters, dramatically increasing the chance of success. Once a target is chosen, the cheetah launches an explosive chase, locking onto animals that lag behind or show signs of weakness. Accelerating from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just seconds. It is the fastest land animal on Earth. This extraordinary speed is the result of a body built almost entirely for velocity. Long legs and powerful muscles generate immense thrust, while the cheetah's extended tail acts like a rudder, maintaining balance and enabling sharp turns at high speed. Its semi-retractable claws function like running spikes, gripping the ground for maximum traction. A lightweight skeleton further reduces resistance, allowing unmatched speed over short distances. These chases are brief by necessity, rarely lasting more than 30 seconds. Sprinting at full speed consumes enormous energy, and once a kill is made, the cheetah must eat quickly or drag its prey to cover. Larger competitors such as hyenas and lions can easily steal the carcass if given the chance. As a result, the cheetah must remain constantly alert, not only an elite hunter, but also a cautious one. By preying on smaller herbivores, it helps regulate gazelle populations, preventing overgrazing that could damage the landscape. At the same time, leftover remains provide food for scavengers and secondary predators, reinforcing the balance of the food chain. The cheetah's presence is essential to the ecological stability and biodiversity of the Serengeti. Yet today, it faces serious threats. Habitat loss, increasing conflict with humans, and intense competition from other predators have driven a troubling decline in cheetah populations, placing one of nature's most specialized hunters at growing risk. Another sound joins the soundscape of the savanna, the sharp, sneeze-like call of the African wild dog. The fragile status of this species reflects the intense pressure caused by habitat loss and direct competition with dominant predators such as lions and spotted hyenas. Once widespread across much of Africa, including the Serengeti, African wild dogs suffered a dramatic decline. By 1992, they were declared locally extinct within Serengeti National Park, largely due to poaching, disease, and relentless rivalry with other carnivores. With a lean, athletic body weighing between 20 and 30 kilograms and standing roughly 75 centimeters tall, The African wild dog is built for endurance. It can travel up to 12 kilometers a day in search of food while avoiding danger. What truly sets this species apart, however, is its remarkably strong social structure and an extraordinary level of cooperation within the pack. Packs typically consist of 6 to 20 individuals, though only a single alpha pair reproduces. This tightly organized hierarchy and deep sense of unity allow them to overcome challenges that solitary predators could never face alone. The strongest members not only lead the hunt, but also help care for pups and share food with injured or weakened packmates, ensuring the survival of the group as a whole. The hunting strategy of the African wild dog relies on stamina, coordination, and teamwork. Capable of reaching speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour, they can sustain a fast pace over long distances, making them among the most relentless hunters in the animal kingdom. Their approach is highly adaptable. Some individuals drive the chase, while others flank or cut off escape routes. Rather than relying on ambush, they pursue their prey until it is completely exhausted, a method especially effective in open landscapes like Ndutu. Thanks to their flawless coordination and careful prey selection, African wild dogs can achieve hunting success rates of up to 80%, far surpassing many other predators. In doing so, they play a crucial role in controlling herbivore populations, preventing overgrazing and protecting the savanna's vegetation. The remains of their kills also serve an important purpose. Scavengers such as vultures and jackals depend on these leftovers, helping recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. In this way, the African wild dog contributes not only as a hunter, but as a vital force in maintaining the ecological balance of the African savanna. The Nile crocodile is a colossal reptile, capable of reaching lengths of up to 6 meters and weighing more than 900 kilograms. It stands as one of nature's most striking examples of endurance and adaptation in an unforgiving environment. The river is not only its refuge, but also a relentless hunting ground, especially during the rainy season, when millions of wildebeest surge across the water as part of the Great Migration. Shaped by millions of years of evolution dating back to the Jurassic era, this ancient predator is equipped with immensely powerful jaws, thick armored skin, and the ability to remain submerged for extended periods. Along the western corridor of the Serengeti, where the Grumeti River winds through the Savanna, the Nile crocodile finds ideal conditions. Freshwater offers protection, while the endless flow of migrating herds provides a reliable source of food. The muddy riverbed and dense vegetation along the banks form perfect ambush sites. The relatively stable water temperature helps the crocodile regulate its body and conserve energy for the decisive moment. As migration begins, the river becomes a natural barrier. Crocodiles lie hidden beneath the surface, revealing only their eyes and nostrils, waiting patiently for the exact instant to strike. Their muscular bodies generate a bite force that can reach up to 5,000 psi, among the strongest ever recorded in the animal kingdom. Using the infamous death roll, they tear apart their prey with devastating efficiency. Each migration season, crocodiles in the Grumeti River kill thousands of wildebeest, playing a critical role in the food chain. Even so, the majority of the herds, nearly 60%, manage to cross the river successfully. The Nile crocodile is a true master of survival. It can go months without feeding, relying on stored energy to endure periods of scarcity. This ability, combined with physical resilience, flexible movement, and an exceptionally tough hide, allows it to withstand extreme conditions that would overwhelm most predators. As an apex predator, the crocodile helps regulate populations of large herbivores such as wildebeest and zebras, preventing overgrazing and protecting vegetation. The remains of its kills sustain a wide range of scavengers, ensuring the continuous flow of energy through the ecosystem. Its presence not only preserves balance, but also supports biodiversity throughout the region. Yet the Grumeti River is not ruled by crocodiles alone. It is also home to another dominant force, the hippopotamus. This massive semi-aquatic mammal plays a unique and influential role in the ecological structure of the Serengeti's western corridor. Weighing more than 1,500 kilograms, the hippopotamus is the third heaviest land animal on Earth. Unlike elephants or rhinoceroses, it combines a seemingly calm demeanor with unpredictable aggression, creating a powerful impact on its surroundings. Its evolutionary history is closely tied to both land and water and stretches back millions of years. Despite appearances, hippos are closely related to whales and dolphins, sharing a common ancestor from around 55 million years ago. Over time, they developed key adaptations for life in freshwater, short but incredibly strong legs that allow agile movement, and thick skin that protects against intense solar radiation. Their range extends across much of sub-Saharan Africa, primarily in rivers, large lakes, and wetlands. In the Grumeti River, hippos gather in deep, slow-moving sections, where cool water helps regulate body temperature and safeguard their young. This same river also serves as a migration route for countless species, especially during the massive movement of wildebeest. By carving pathways through dense vegetation, hippos help maintain water flow, particularly during the dry season. Although they share the same habitat, the relationship between hippos and Nile crocodiles is often tense and competitive. With massive bodies and canine teeth that can reach up to 50 centimeters in length, a hippo can deliver devastating attacks when it feels threatened, especially when defending its territory or offspring. However, in the absence of direct provocation, both species can coexist in the same waters without constant conflict. Hippos live in groups with a clear social structure, typically consisting of a dominant male, several females, and their young. These groups may include up to 20 individuals. The dominant male asserts control by opening his jaws to display his tusks, or by releasing powerful warning calls that echo across the river. Although they spend most of their lives in the water, confrontations between male hippos over territory or access to aquatic resources can be extraordinarily violent, often resulting in severe injuries and, at times, death. Despite their aggressive reputation, hippos are strictly herbivorous, consuming an average of around 40 kilograms of grass each day. They typically leave the water at night to graze, moving along riverbanks or venturing deep into the savanna. The paths carved during these nocturnal journeys serve more than their own needs. These natural corridors become travel routes for other species, from small mammals to major predators such as lions and leopards. The presence of the hippopotamus is essential to ecological balance. Its waste, released directly into the water, delivers large amounts of nutrients into freshwater systems, fueling the growth of microorganisms and small aquatic life. This nutrient input supports fish and invertebrates, helping sustain a healthy and functioning food web. At the same time, the constant movement of hippos disturbs soil and vegetation, creating conditions that allow new plant life to emerge. For migrating herds, the dangers do not end after crossing the Grumeti River, a landscape shaped by Nile crocodiles and the imposing territorial presence of hippos. Of all the formidable predators of the African savanna we've explored, which one left the strongest impression on you? Let us know in the comments below. High above the western corridor of the Serengeti, soaring over the Grumeti River, a silent presence dominates the sky. With its vast wings fully extended, the ripple's vulture glides effortlessly, watching over the wilderness below. In an ecosystem shaped by constant competition and sudden change, this species plays a vital role in maintaining ecological balance. Renowned for its unmatched efficiency as a scavenger, the Ripple's vulture is essential to keeping the Serengeti clean and functioning. As a member of the Old World vultures, it possesses biological adaptations perfectly suited to its task. Its long, featherless neck allows it to reach deep into carcasses without fouling its plumage, while a strong, hooked beak easily tears through flesh. With a wingspan reaching up to 2.6 meters, it can soar for hours, covering vast distances while expending very little energy. This ability is especially valuable across wide, dry landscapes where food sources may lie many kilometers apart. Along the western corridor, particularly near the Grumeti River, Ripple's vultures find abundant nourishment in the remains of large animals such as buffalo, wildebeest, and zebras. During the Great Migration, many animals failed to survive the river crossing, leaving their bodies along the banks, where vultures gather to perform their role as nature's cleanup crew. Sandbanks and calm stretches of water become key feeding zones during migration season. The species is also famous for its extraordinary flight altitude, holding the record for the highest flight ever recorded for a bird up to 11,300 meters. With exceptional eyesight, these vultures can spot a carcass from more than 6 kilometers away and reach it quickly. A group of Ripple's vultures can strip a wildebeest carcass clean in as little as 30 minutes, preventing the spread of dangerous bacteria and diseases such as anthrax or pasteurellosis. Despite their importance, they face intense competition for food from lions and hyenas. Once these predators abandon a kill, the vultures move in, using their powerful beaks to make the most of what remains. Their highly specialized digestive system allows them to neutralize harmful bacteria and toxins found in decaying flesh, a rare ability in the animal kingdom. Yet their contribution goes far beyond carcass removal. Through the breakdown of organic matter, vultures help return nutrients to the soil, improving fertility and supporting the growth of grasses and shrubs. This process is especially critical in the western Serengeti, where healthy grasslands are essential for sustaining the massive migratory herds. Despite their ecological value, Ripple's vultures are experiencing a worrying population decline. Conservation efforts within the Serengeti now focus on protecting migration corridors and raising awareness among local communities about the crucial role vultures play in preserving the health and balance of the natural world. And so, the African savanna carries on its endless story of life and death. Beneath burning skies and across vast open plains, silent struggles unfold each day, where instinct, experience, and endurance determine the fate of every creature in this unforgiving land. These hunts, often harsh and unrelenting, are not merely displays of brutality, but expressions of a self-regulating natural world in which every species plays an essential role in maintaining balance. To witness this wild realm is also an invitation to understand and respect it. Protecting the African savanna means safeguarding a living chronicle of life in its purest form, ensuring that these powerful scenes continue to exist and remind us of the true meaning of survival. The land splits into long fractures that cut across the plain like ancient scars. A heavy veil of dust drifts close to the ground, stretching toward the horizon. Above, thin clouds scatter, allowing sunlight to pour through and strike the hardened surface below. There is no flowing river here, yet the earth begins to tremble. Across the cracked crust, thousands of hooves strike in unison. With every step, dust erupts and spreads outward. The first animals move forward, and behind them the surge continues. Grasses bend in the direction of travel, carving a pathway that seems to have no end. The entire savanna moves to a single rhythm. From the open plains of the Serengeti to the gentle lowlands of the Masai Mara, the ground is no longer still. Herds of every size advance with the wind, guided by distant signs of rain. Each journey is part of a greater cycle, where survival depends on a migration timed with remarkable precision. Nothing in this ecosystem remains unchanged. It shifts with the seasons, with water, with the growth of grass, and with the passage of each herd. Every species plays a defined role, and every behavior helps sustain the pulse that keeps the plains alive. When one species begins to move, another immediately adjusts its course. As grass is grazed down to the soil, waste returns vital nutrients to the ground. When prey falls, decomposers are already in place. Together, the Serengeti-Masai Mara region functions as one of East Africa's central biological engines. Energy is generated the moment hooves strike the earth and is carried onward through every mouthful of grass, every chase, and every fallen body. Nothing in this system exists without purpose. Each element matters only when it flows with the natural rhythm. Across these untamed grasslands, the Great Migration draws all forms of life into a powerful predatory cycle that never truly pauses. Fresh shoots blanket the land after recent rains, their narrow leaves bent in unison by the wind. On the open plains, newborn calves stumble away from the birthing grounds and merge into the moving mass of adults, advancing without hesitation. They do not wait for strength to build. Motion begins at once. As the rainy season reaches the southern edge of the Serengeti, wildebeest herds leave their calving areas. The first groups cross the damp earth, trampling young growth and etching their path across the plain. The movement does not break. Smaller groups merge into larger bodies as herds from different directions converge along shared corridors. routes may shift, but the overall direction remains unchanged. The pace is steady and relentless. Under thousands of hooves, the ground yields, forming deep impressions. Grass is pressed flat. Droppings fall in an unbroken pattern. The air grows heavy with the scent of bodies, waste, and churned soil. Every footprint marks the passage of a living current sweeping across the savanna. New life quickly appears in its wake. Dung beetles burrow beneath fresh mounds. Low-flying birds follow closely, and weaker wildebeest begin to lag behind. Their presence draws scavengers and predators waiting along the edges. The migration cuts through the grasslands, opening pathways that other species soon follow. Tall grasses vanish, old roots are broken, and the soil is loosened by hooves and organic matter. Each area they cross becomes a zone of biological renewal after the dry season. Every wildebeest plays a direct role while alive. They deposit nutrients and chemical traces. In death, their bodies become centers of decomposition. Birds, insects, and microbes arrive in layers. There is no need to search. Food is already available for scavengers. There is no delay. Beetles immediately begin their work. There is no isolation. Predators simply watch and wait for those that slip behind the flow. All life benefits from this concentrated movement. Wildebeest do not create the ecosystem, but they set it in motion. Microbial communities in the soil awaken as organic matter surges through the system. Other species begin their own journeys as the wild pulse passes. This ecosystem does not operate by chance. It responds precisely to the signals released by the migration. As the wildebeest press forward, the grazing zones along their migratory corridor are reshaped in real time. Life concentrates along their path, and every place they touch becomes a link between multiple biological layers. No single species clears the way alone. No cycle begins without a trigger. Reproduction follows the rhythm of the rains while the soil still holds moisture. New life is born. The moment the calves are able to stand, the herd moves on again. This tight synchronization offers protection from immediate predators, but it also sends powerful signals through the entire system. The landscape left behind changes rapidly. Grass sprouts where it was once trampled. Bacteria break down organic remains, and moisture is retained near the surface thanks to the fresh input of nutrients. For a time, each area crossed by the herd becomes a center of biological renewal. Other grazers arrive later, taking advantage of what remains. Older vegetation has already been consumed, allowing shorter, younger grasses to flourish. There is no direct competition. Many species rely on the wildebeest's passage as a natural process of clearing and renewal. The soil stays loose, roots spread more easily, and conditions align for the next cycle. The moving mass of wildebeest also reshapes the strategies of predators. Hunters must adjust their breeding seasons, ambush tactics, and territories according to the herd's pace and direction. Scavenging birds track the places where carcasses appear. Vultures, crows, and wild dogs gather around zones marked by decay. The ecosystem keeps time like a living structure. Rain may set the stage, but the wildebeest herd is the first mechanism to turn. No single animal chooses the route, yet together they generate enough momentum to drive the entire system. On the living map of the region, the wildebeest migration acts like a heartbeat. Each year, that pulse returns. From the southern calving grounds to the northern grasslands, Every stretch of land responds in a predictable sequence. Other species do not exist because of the wildebeest alone, but the functioning of the system begins with their passage. Nothing in the herd's behavior happens in isolation. Every hoof that strikes the ground sets change in motion. The land shifts, vegetation is redistributed, and new life emerges. This is why wildebeest signal the beginning of the life cycle in East Africa, not because they are the strongest or the fastest, but because their first step sets the entire ecosystem in motion. Each year, when the first rains return and soften the land, a single hoof meets the ground once more. From that moment of contact, the cycle of life begins again. Short grasses spread across the damp soil at dawn. The air is still. At the edge of a shallow hollow, a pride of lions lies pressed low, concealed among scattered shrubs. Early light washes over their backs, blending with earth darkened by heat. In the distance, a wildebeest herd advances. The groups stretch into loose lines, shifting direction as they follow the low ground. Gaps begin to open between individuals. Young calves drift toward the edges, and the lions hold their ground, using the contours of the land, moving in wide, deliberate arcs. Each hunter keeps a precise distance. Angles of approach tighten from multiple sides. There is no warning, no prolonged chase. As the herd crosses the depression, the moment unfolds. One animal becomes separated. Its escape route narrows. An open patch of ground becomes the point where motion ends. The prey falls, and the grass is pressed flat beneath it. The lions spread out around the body. One secures the kill, while the others melt back into cover. The landscape settles into silence. Wind moves on. There is no struggle, no further disturbance. Hoofprints remain etched into the loosened soil. The scent of blood begins to drift close to the ground. This hunt is driven by precision, not speed. Lions do not rely on long chases. They succeed through positioning, spacing, and a deep understanding of herd movement. Each individual plays a role. When the distance closes, force is applied together. Often, prey is taken in moments of imbalance, too far from protection and too close to avoid the closing circle. The outcome is shaped by natural behavior, not by chance or error. Once selected, the prey cannot recover its position. High above, scavenging birds sense the warmth of the body and begin to circle at altitude. On the ground, beetles detect the organic scent released into the air. Decomposers arrive even before the lions leave the site. Within hours, the soil around the carcass darkens, their fluids seep into the base of the grasses. Roots draw in the nutrients. Soil bacteria cling to what remains. New shoots begin to rise, guided by heat, moisture, and nitrogen. By afternoon, the pride rests beneath low trees stretched along the brush. Around them, the grass stands still once more. No major movement follows. The marks of their paws extend across the softened paths and fade at the edge of the plain. The morning hunt leaves no sound behind, but the land retains its evidence-absorbed fluids, embedded bones, and microbial changes already underway. Short grass spreads evenly across the open landscape, carrying forward the quiet imprint of what has passed. The ground is dry and fragile. Beneath low shrubs pressed close to the earth, a leopard moves without sound through narrow gaps. Its body stays flattened against the soil, detached from any motion above. The wind shifts again and again, pushing patches of grass in different directions. Nothing breaks the boundary of dust and shadow. The distance closes steadily, without disturbing the scene. Ahead, a group of Thompson's gazelles feeds, spaced in loose, even lines. Younger animals linger toward the outer edges, drifting with the breeze. Between hunter and herd, there is no cover, only open, arid ground. The leopard maintains a measured pace, making no sudden adjustments and never rushing the moment. At a workable range, it pauses beside a small rise. Its body folds into the edge of shade. The landscape holds its breath. When a leopard hunts on open plains, conditions must align gentle undulations in the land, evenly scattered shrubs, and prey that remains spread out rather than tightly grouped. Hunting alone leaves no margin for recovery once detected. A single misstep sharply reduces the chance of success. There is no partner to disrupt the herd, no coordinated retreat. Every phase depends on closing the gap with absolute precision. If that limit is crossed, the prey reacts and control is lost. The leopard is not built for endurance across open ground. Its strength lies in short bursts of speed. Each chase unfolds over a brief distance. If the line breaks or the gazelle responds instantly, the attempt fails, and failure is more common than success. Not due to a lack of skill, but because the leopard's hunting space is shaped by countless variables: wind direction, sun angle, grass height, and prey distribution. Even so, its presence alone alters gazelle behavior. Small herds rarely remain spread out in exposed areas. Youngsters draw closer to their mothers. Feeding pauses. Groups quicken their pace when crossing zones with limited visibility. A successful kill is not required to leave an effect. The mere appearance of a leopard reshapes herd formation and rest patterns. Grazing cycles shift, reducing pressure on a single spot and spreading vegetation used more evenly across the region. Leopards do not challenge lions or hyenas through open conflict. Their solitary approach adds a second layer of influence. They avoid direct competition, yet they shape how prey occupies the landscape. No herd stays concentrated for long. No herbivore holds prolonged control over the plains. This irregular presence forces prey to disperse in search of lower risk. No group maintains the same structure long enough to damage grass growth. No area is stripped bare. The pressure is subtle but constant. A baseline level of alertness persists, even without active hunts. The leopard favors isolation and leaves little trace. It draws no gatherings of scavengers. Small prey is consumed quickly, leaving minimal remains and little scent to attract larger species. By selecting smaller animals, the leopard limits interference and avoids attention. Its role rarely sparks conflict within the predator network. As evening approaches, it withdraws quietly from the edge of the plain. Across the Grumeti Plains, the ground bears fine cracks left by a brief dry spell. Fresh grass has emerged, though it has not yet grown dense. Moving through the open landscape, a herd of zebras advances in a broad, organized line. Their passage raises little dust. The great wildebeest herds are still distant, not yet reaching this transitional zone. Striped bodies glide across the plain, trimming the grass as they head east and northeast. Shadows stretch over the pale soil. Larger individuals hold a steady pace, while smaller groups remain along the edges. The leading position shifts constantly. Their route is traced as a lighter band across the land. Grass bends and flattens into a gentle arc. Zebras typically travel ahead of the main migratory waves. They enter areas still untouched by hooves, following paths of their own. No collective signal is required. As soon as rainfall is sufficient to lift the grass slightly, the herd begins to move. Their journey remains local, yet it consistently precedes the peak of migration. This timing introduces a different rhythm into the system. Zebras do not wait for grass to reach its most tender stage. They arrive early, feeding on the upper portions of the stems and leaving the lower layers undisturbed. When other grazers follow later, the grass has already been trimmed closer to the ground, better suited to their feeding styles. As the herd crosses the region, it leaves a clear grazing line shaped by the direction of the wind. Vegetation is cut evenly. Low shrubs lose much of their cover, allowing more sunlight to reach the soil. The landscape becomes brighter and more open. Understory plants begin to reorganize in response to the new structure. Throughout their movement, zebras do not maintain rigid formations. They travel in spaced groups, widening the grazing corridor. At shallow water sources, the herd breaks into smaller units, each using different patches of vegetation depending on the terrain. This division creates a layered effect. Every cleared section becomes accessible to other life forms. From insects and ground birds to small herbivores, no single area remains crowded for long. The remaining biological layers are reshaped evenly across the plain. Zebras do not graze down to the roots. They affect only the upper growth, preserving the base. This residual layer becomes ideal for low-grazing species such as gazelles, warthogs, and smaller trailing groups of wildebeest. By moving first, zebras slow the intensity of impact caused by the larger herds that arrive later. Their breeding is not concentrated in one mass, allowing them to split freely into smaller groups. These units move independently without disrupting the broader migratory cycle. Each advances at its own pace, giving grasslands time to recover. No area becomes a lasting bottleneck within the system. When predators draw near, zebras do not respond by tightening into a dense mass. Instead, they fan out across open ground, breaking formation rather than compressing it. This behavior disrupts hunting strategies that rely on confusion within tight groups. By spreading apart, the pressure of pursuit is diluted, increasing escape opportunities for other species sharing the landscape. The tracks zebras leave behind are shallow yet continuous. Their droppings fall widely spaced instead of accumulating in heavy clusters. This even distribution enriches the soil surface, helping the grass retain moisture at its base. From these scattered nutrients, soil bacteria begin to expand. Dung beetles soon arrive, drawn by scent, turning and loosening the earth so new roots can take hold. From an ecological standpoint, zebras create a horizontal flow of biological movement. Their impact lacks the vertical force of wildebeest hooves or the concentrated pressure exerted by buffalo. But this steady passage reduces direct stress on the land. The ground absorbs a lighter, prolonged influence that is spread evenly across the plains. Predators adjust their routines to follow zebra movements, increasing the chances of successful ambushes. Lions, hyenas, and wild dogs position themselves in areas not yet reshaped by massive herds. before the main migration arrives. Regions such as grumeti function as independent hunting grounds. As a result, predation pressure is distributed more evenly over time. Zebras do not impose an intense biological load, but they help disperse its effects. The system absorbs this energy at multiple points. The soil is not disturbed for extended periods. Roots retain part of their protective layer, and recovery cycles resume more quickly after each change. During transitional seasons, if only the Great Migration crossed these plains, the land would bear the full force in a very short window. The soil would not have time to recover. Microorganisms would also struggle to multiply fast enough. Grass would be torn out by the roots rather than simply trimmed. Without zebra herds, the migratory corridor would lose its first layer of distribution. Predator activity would become compressed into fewer moments, and restoration cycles would lack a buffer. The grassland would shift in color more rapidly, exposing roots too early. The ecosystem would lose its characteristic resilience, becoming a narrow and fragile passage across open terrain. Zebras leave no dramatic aftermath, yet each passing group clears the surface, opens sight lines, and allows wind to move freely for a brief time. Every quiet wave of migration strengthens the system. It is this staggered, subtle rhythm that prevents the entire migratory movement from collapsing into a single, overwhelming surge. Across the open grassland, a narrow path cuts through the plain. Dust lifts lightly along a zigzag line, while the wind slips through mid-height grasses, carrying traces of movement that have not yet faded. Thompson's gazelles appear in small, scattered clusters, each animal keeping a carefully measured distance, guided by finely tuned instinct. On bare ground, there are no obstacles and no tall cover. Every movement is swift, marked by sudden turns that shorten the time spent within a predator's line of sight. When danger emerges on the horizon, the gazelles spring away on diagonal paths. Their escape routes curve unpredictably, forming a web of motion that is nearly impossible to read. Within moments, the group's structure loosens under outward pressure, then reforms once the threat passes. Calving takes place in isolated spots across the dry plain. The gazelles do not gather, nor do they remain in one place. Each female selects her own patch of short grass and moves at her own pace. As soon as the young can stand, the group shifts again, leaving no clear traces and no prolonged pauses. This scattered strategy prevents gazelles from becoming easy targets. Lions, hyenas, and leopards usually succeed only when an individual strays too far from the group's flow. Most maintain a steady rhythm, avoiding major breaks in formation. Speed aids their escape, but it is their unpredictable direction that most often disrupts an ambush. In such an exposed landscape, there is no true shelter. Gazelles turn openness itself into a defense. The clearer the space, the lower the risk. During the peak of the dry season, they make up much of the remaining biomass. While larger herds like wildebeest and zebras have already moved on, gazelles continue to travel steadily across the plains. They graze close to the ground, feeding on shoots that have not been trampled. Their constant motion prevents the grass from losing its color entirely. Each passage attracts small scavengers, field insects, and ground-dwelling birds. Their hooves leave shallow impressions that hold moisture just long enough for new growth to emerge. Areas crossed by gazelles often recover faster than untouched ground. Their ability to leave sensitive spots and return from different directions sustains a continuous rhythm of life. No species can survive by remaining fixed in one pattern here. Persistence depends on movement without permanent roots. Gazelle groups connect scattered pockets of life into a lasting biological flow. They serve as a buffer between top predators and lower levels of the food web. Without triggering population surges, they help maintain surface stability. When gazelles vanish from a region, the middle layer of prey collapses, forcing predators to shift abruptly and disrupting the natural order. The ecosystem loses its balancing force. Within the vast movement of the Serengeti Mara, gazelles act like a seam between ecological layers, thin yet vital. Each time they skim the ground in flight, they leave a subtle imprint. From that imprint, the rhythm of life holds its balance. After a night of rain, the ground remains damp, and a low mist still clings to the grass. From a shallow hollow at the edge of the plain rises a sour scent, the unmistakable sign of old flesh. Lying on its side is a carcass, the hide torn open in a long, ragged seam. Spotted hyenas approach from different points on the horizon. Within the group, order is precise. Each animal takes a position around the body without chaos or struggle. Powerful jaws tear effortlessly through tissue, stripping away large sections of meat and exposing bare bone. Slowly, the carcass is reduced and scattered by wind and movement. As the main structure collapses, younger hyenas move in from the edges. Their teeth are not searching for soft flesh. They lock into joints, separate limbs, and remove the final fragments clinging to bone. Only dry soil adheres to the exposed marrow. Everything else is broken down into small, disappearing pieces. Hyenas operate as a highly organized unit. Dominant individuals choose moments to hunt when conditions favor them. It is not an ending for predators or prey, but for the entire cycle that begins again where flesh breaks down. No presence interrupts and regulates the system as effectively as the hyena. They enter hunting grounds, tear flesh from powerful animals, and consume what remains. When they leave, the land is clean, No odor, no residue, no biological risk. On the living map of the savanna, where every creature leaves behind waste, only the hyena turns those remnants into a starting point. No other animal consumes what is left at the very end. When all have moved on, only dust remains, and the distant echo of the hyena, marking clearly that the cycle is complete and the ground is ready to begin again. Across the vast African plains, the great migrations reveal survival in its purest form. Every crossing, every shift in direction, every split-second choice can determine who endures and who falls behind. Danger is ever-present, unseen predators, deceptive rivers, and a harsh landscape that tests even the strongest bodies and instincts. Yet, despite these risks, millions of animals press forward, driven by an ancient impulse to endure, adapt, and keep moving. In this endless journey, unity becomes strength, resolve becomes protection, and survival stands as the sole objective. With this, we conclude our exploration of one of the most powerful and extraordinary spectacles in the natural world.